Welcome to Journey with Josh. I'm Josh Ubaldi, and we're taking you on a journey of a lifetime into marketing and advertising. In every episode, we're diving into the main ingredients that give you the deepest connection with your audience, as well as the biggest bang for your buck. Together, we'll solve every mystery about marketing you've ever come across so you can get all the leads and sales you want, and best of all, how to grow a business you truly love, full of happy customers and fantastic referrals. Let's give your business the journey of a lifetime. Welcome to Journey with Josh. I could not be more excited for this episode because we are diving into solving these mysteries of marketing today. I have always been totally obsessed with mysteries, whether it's a mystery or a spy story or some type of thriller to some degree, but usually some kind of intrigue. I could never get enough of them, and I still can't to this day. Whether it's binging something on Netflix or going to catch a movie or just devouring some really good novel. I will read the same authors every year when they come out with a new book just to dive into what is this mystery about. And I will binge the new season of whatever it is if I really loved it. And I always wonder, are you as much of a mystery lover as me? It's so ridiculous to some degree where people do talk about things like cozy crime, right? Where you're like, oh, I love a good cozy murder. At the end of the day, I don't think there's anything truly cozy about murder. How could there be? I have zero interest in true crime, right? All of these podcasts or movies or books all about true crime. I want nothing to do with true crime. It is gritty. It is too dark. It is just horrific to see what people can do to each other in real life. But in this world of fiction, it is so awesome and fascinating to see the stories that people come up with, but also, right, I would never want to be in the middle of a mystery. I would never want to be myself personally in the middle of a spy story that was happening in real life. But at the end of the day, it's always satisfying because it always has a resolution. And that's sometimes why I think, oh, why do I like these quite so much? I think it's that. Right? So many things in life, out in the world or in your personal world, they will not have an easy, clean, clear resolution where someone collects everybody and everybody sits in a room and they're like, this is what happened and it's possible it's you, and you, but really we know it's you for this reason and you're the murderer, you're the traitor, whatever it is, and go from there. There's always a resolution. And what is the most important thing in business? You always want to have a resolution when it comes to business. We can't have in business too many unfinished things, too many unanswered questions, too many situations where it's just pure confusion. Right? In the world of mysteries, and especially spy stories, right? You discover how many people have lied along the way, right? The witnesses have had their statements taken, and lo and behold, oh my gosh, someone lied. Someone did not tell the truth because they did not want to get found out. And I think that's the interesting thing about we as human beings, that we don't want to get called out and we don't want to get found out, but we also don't, on the whole, really want to do that much harm to other people, right? People are intrinsically very good. But when it comes to your business and when it comes to your marketing, right? We are going to assume always that you want to do the best for your audience so that your audience moves through your customer journey, right? It will always come back to that customer journey because that's the experience of the people who will buy from you at the end of the day. So our main goal when it comes to solving these mysteries of marketing is always very clearly to be able to have the skill set and the ability to look at things so you can solve as many mysteries about as many things about marketing as possible consistently over and over, because like I said, you really want to be able to give your audience who enters at some point the best customer journey And in order to do that, you're going to be able to course correct from whatever you think you might be doing now that's not working and course correct onto a cleaner path where you know, well, if I do this, it takes someone from this point to this point. If I do this, it takes someone from this point to this point. And if I really do the last thing really great, it takes people from that final point right through to a sale to become a customer of yours along the journey. That is the resolution that we're looking for. And to do that, there just seem to be so many mysteries about how to make that happen, right? Even though so much of my more recent experience is supporting people and teaching people how to advertise for their own business, right? I have been in marketing for decades, and it really becomes very clear when you touch lots of different pieces of marketing that even with something like advertising, right? I've said it before, I'll keep saying it. Great advertising, exceptional world-class high performance advertising. It's really simple when it's the last step of great world-class marketing. But great marketing has very consistent skills. And yet so many of those skills are just a big mystery to so many people. That's really why. So sometimes I've wondered, why are there quite so many mysteries when it comes to the marketing pieces of this? And I think one major element, which I really invite you, I so invite you to think, is this me in any way? Because I guarantee you, plenty of this has been me in many times along the way. And even still to this day, certain things I find that oftentimes people are just trying to fill in all the gaps all at once, right? If you're really attempting to fill in gaps about how to make your business work really well, and you're trying to do it all immediately, right? Do I take the blue pill? Do I take the red pill, right? Am I looking for one magic pill? Am I looking for that one magic bullet that is just going to answer all the questions and make sure that there's never unstoppable momentum, right? This is actually momentum in the real world. This is momentum in real life in a way where it is really important to talk about implementation and how you take these steps to implement to keep momentum going. The biggest thing I think to come back to some degree about these mysteries of marketing is very much that we are not looking for you to 2x your results or 4x your results. We're looking to have you have the skill sets to 10x your results consistently. I think it's really nice to be able to double your results. If you have a pretty decent revenue in your business and you want to double that, that's awesome. If you want to 10x that, everything can become so much easier. It simplifies so many things in your business. It really simplifies your steps for marketing all along the way. So we're trying to take a moment and take a step back and look at this very objectively to say, where am I trying to take the blue pill or take the red pill and have everything osmotically, right, by osmosis done for me all of a sudden, where you can do that, but through the lens and the filter of, I don't want 2x results, I want 10x results. And I can fill in a lot of those gaps. I'm just going to do it a little bit more, one step at a time. Oftentimes in the past, or with clients especially, I have talked about slowing down just enough to speed right up. And as soon as you think sometimes about, oh, if I slow down, am I gonna like stop my momentum and come into slow motion? And ultimately, I'm just gonna crash. I'm not even gonna crash, right? I'm just gonna peter out into nothing, and it's just gonna be, nothing positive about it. Ultimately, we want you to create more momentum by adding different skills into place and tying them all together. That ultimately allows you to solve all of these mysteries of marketing, right? And what are these mysteries of marketing? I think the key to these mysteries of marketing, right, are how do I stay in touch with people? How do I nurture people? How do I get people's attention? How do I move people? 100%, it really is how to move people from this point all the way through to become a customer all along that journey. So here's the secret. It is not magic. It is not abracadabra, a little rabbit's going to come out of the hat. It is just math. It is nothing more than math, and it's always going to be math. And if we put all the cards on the table without a magic trick, it's really always going to be math plus really good basic principles. And I want to pull those apart because they're not complicated and they're in no way scary. In terms of math and what great marketing and great businesses are doing, this is math. It is not algebra or geometry or calculus or all those things that we studied in high school and we were like, I didn't get that. It was all totally over my head. I don't think like that. It's not my way of looking at things, right? We're not trying to do algebra, calculus, crazy equations, right? Nobody needs to be a CPA or a rocket scientist or an engineer. You can take all of that off the table and throw it away because it's never going to be about that. It is going to be math. Think back to, I don't know when we start math, maybe second, third grade, third, fourth grade. Maybe in third grade, you are finally adding and subtracting more complex things. And maybe by fourth grade, you are learning how to multiply or divide things. That's it. Like, that's all we really need to do. I don't want you to ever think about numbers, data, analytics as anything more but some good basic math. And it's never going to be algebra or geometry or calculus. And it will move so much easier. The second piece of this, though, is the basic principles. What are these basic principles? Ultimately, basic principles are truly nothing more than this is why people tend to do this, and this is why people tend to do this, to do that. And if you know why people do this, and you know why people do that, and you know good basic steps to encourage them to do this, and good basic steps to encourage them to do that, those are basic principles. In marketing terms and advertising terms, we call them oftentimes best practices because they're proven, consistent things that work every time. And so many people really attempt to like hyper customize things right from the start. Here's the key. The key is always going to be, right? The key is always going to be, don't try to break the rules until you have some grasp of the rules. You don't even ever have to completely follow all the rules and then break the rules, but it's going to be so much simpler if you have a true grasp of what the rules are, and then you can choose to break them because you'll know what circumstances and risks come along with that. Ultimately, I think every business is unique. Ultimately, your specific offer inside of your industry, inside of your niche of people that you're working with, every business is a little unique. Every audience for a business is a little unique compared to a different business that may do something completely the same or quite similar. Your audience that you're attracting is unique because you're unique. Nevertheless, best practices consistently work, and then it just becomes about math. How can you have and encourage more people to enter here and move through here? It's really not going to be more complicated than that. But the math needs to go along with the best practices or these best principles, because ultimately those things together will both allow you to grow and initially 2x or 4x your results, but they will ultimately let you scale faster. Hey, it's Josh here. Are you finally ready for advertising that works every single time? If so, then download the 3 T's of great advertising right now. We're going to give you our simple 3-step system that quite literally works every time for ads that do the job time and again. And as well, we're also going to give you the 7 marketing must-haves. These are the main principles so you can get the absolute most out of your investment in any type of Facebook and Instagram ads and beyond. Don't hesitate. Let's get started today and make this super simple. It's certainly not rocket science, and there's no smoke and mirrors. Download it today at www.goldenringmarketing.com/get started. One more time, that's www.goldenringmarketing.com/get started. And we'll see ya on the other side. And that's really where the math comes in once you make sure you have all of those good basic principles firmly in place. One other thing that I notice consistently is many people, especially, right, all of these things are very pertinent when it comes to online marketing and offering a course, a group program, some sort of package in this online world where people are finding you or getting to know you or being nurtured by you or being made offers by things by you in this online digital space. It has its own principles and it has its own basic rules that you want to have a good grasp of versus, oh, I'm just going to see how things work. Well, no, there's plenty of proven things that consistently work. You may tweak them just a little bit to make it work for your specific audience and your specific interests and your specific business setup. All of that is just customizable enough to be fascinating and flexible and easy for you. But the thing that I do notice too is that a lot of people have not only gotten very little grasp of the good basic rules, but they are truly focused solely on sales. And many people, especially in this space, many people are really just investing in sales programs or sales courses or sales trainings, and not really in getting any of the basics in place for the actual marketing pieces that come to it, right? In my world, it is so common for me to inherit people who come from other places where they're like, well, I got this program and it said I need to do this. And then they said something along the lines of, so you're just going to run some Facebook ads and then that's going to let you be able to X, Y, or Z. And there's nothing that makes people want to pull their hair out. Maybe you've been here. I've totally been here when I first started, where it's like, just run some Facebook ads. And you're like, run some Facebook ads. There's money attached to it. There's risk attached to it. There's so much confusion attached to it. And I need to really get a better grasp of that, because if I can't make your system work without just running some Facebook ads, this is now too much of a challenge. And we want to shift completely from this is really impossible and it feels totally impossible to this has become so much easier. So if you think, oh, maybe I have focused on really just investing in sales programs or sales courses, things where you are promoting your ability to get more sales, at the end of the day, right, it comes down to this one equation: knowledge plus action equals results plus ROI, right? Without a knowledge of how these things work, you can't really know how to take the best action. And it just ends up being this constant confusion, frustration. Those two things together, I'm totally overwhelmed. I'm just confused and I'm really frustrated, but now I'm just plain overwhelmed and I can't take action. The knowledge we're looking for here allows you to take the best possible action to keep moving things forward for yourself. Then you no longer have no idea how to keep moving things through. If you do persist in, and do I want to say that, like, is it really about like, oh, I'm really persisting? No, it's like if you do kind of carry along a course of like, I'm just going to try one new thing. I'm going to just try one new, right? Red pill, blue pill. I'm just going to try one of these pills and see what works and see what works. And you keep hitting the restart button, right? You've entered that zone of, oh, I'm really going crazy because I'm doing the same thing over and over. It may be a different set of the same things, but I'm just doing shiny object things, trying to find some one thing to answer all of my questions immediately. And that holds so much of me back from having any idea of the actions. The interesting thing sometimes when I'm talking to a new client to try to explain a couple things, or I'm working with students in some way, and we're trying to kind of look at the fact of, okay, what is your main offer for something like ads, right? So you have some offers that you're making to bring people into your business. You're probably going to advertise that at some point in some way. And what is that offer? Ultimately, Here's the little cheat code. The little cheat code is all of these offers all boil down into three main things. There's always just three things. You have things to get people in your world to pay attention, things like lead magnets or other things that attract them. You have things to get people to places where you can make your offer. I call these sales events. These are things like webinars or challenges. And then you have totally separate offers to get people to complete the sale. All of these are totally distinct, but no matter what sales process, no matter what sales formula, method, system, whatever it is that you may have invested in, pretty much everything boils down into one of these three categories. And a lot of people are like, hold off a second. I invested way too much into that for you to tell me that that is just one of these three basic things. But it is. When it comes to great advertising, everything gets set up according to one of these three things, and it gets tracked, and it gets its return on investment to be very black and white clear, right? We're not sure, like, oh, I'm not sure if these ads worked. Oh, I'm not sure which of these ads worked. Oh, I'm not sure what about these ads worked. When you run ads, we want to use a system where all of those things are becoming super clear to you because you know the questions to ask, you have the knowledge, and then you can implement it with the action. And that's giving you your results, but that's ultimately giving you your ROI. The ROI is always going to be how you scale, right? The ROI is, well, if I have to put in $10 and I'm getting 20, I get to double my money. Right? That's a beautiful thing. And if you have referrals out in the world, because the same thing, usually applies to some degree. Well, I don't have to put in the $10 at first and I have these referrals. And then maybe I have to make a sale and then provide back 40 to 50% to a great affiliate or a partner of some kind. Anything like that. All of it, it's not magic. It's math, right? Ultimately, it's just math, and it's not calculus or algebra. It's much simpler. All of these mysteries start falling into these nice, easy patterns. This is not something where, oh my God, look at this business. I've never seen a business set up this way. And how could that possibly work? Never in my own business of advertising up for other people have I seen anything so mystifying that works so beautifully. Nevertheless, I have seen plenty of things that are like Frankenstein's monster, where all these things are cobbled together and nothing really connects right, and there's some overlap with it's just messy, and other things are just confusing, and some things are just plain ugly. And all of that has translated twofold, if not tenfold, to the audience experience, and it is not a great experience for the audience in their customer journey ultimately. So my goal for you is that you always start to use what you have a lot more fully, right? I talk inside with my clients or my students a lot about your assets. And a lot of people are like, I don't understand this word asset. What is this asset, right? And as you maybe get older in the world, and older maybe 70, or an older maybe 30, and older maybe 20 or 40, it doesn't matter. That's not always the one thing set in stone. But as you get older in the world, oftentimes you amass assets. You buy a house, it's your asset. You buy a car, which is an asset. Maybe one of the bigger purchases you'll ever make. You buy stocks or investments of some kind, and those are assets. Your business is also completely full of assets. You are usually sitting on some kind of gold mine where you haven't fully tapped into all the gold that you're sitting on, that are all of these assets inside your business, if you're not just getting started out. If you're just getting started out, you're probably coming up and creating a lot of assets quickly, but they're all kind of there on the table because they're all brand new. Most businesses are sitting on so many gorgeous assets that are long forgotten, completely unused, untapped, right? It's all this untapped potential. But if you actually start to mine this asset and all these assets and use what you already have, instead of looking for, should I get a blue pill or a red pill? Should I try to find some magic bullet? You don't have to. You really don't have to. And so much about this process is actually solving these mysteries of, well, What do I have? What am I sitting on? I need to dig around a little bit, right? I'm going to search for clues. I'm going to look for witnesses, and I'm going to see if I can find the witness statements that actually propel this business forward. It keeps coming back to these same things. And what do we know with great mysteries? At the end of every great mystery, barring Jack the Ripper, let's just say barring Jack the Ripper, which is a world-class mystery, right? There's always a resolution. In business, I just don't think, and I really don't feel or believe that businesses can afford to not really tap into assets, because business is expensive at the moment and there's so much competition in the world. I don't want anybody to be terrified of competition, but it's really important to be aware that there is competition, even if you don't want to dive into your own competition. But all of this awareness provides you the knowledge to start solving these mysteries for yourself. We want you to consistently go from I don't know what to do next, and I don't know why this is happening. That's the key I come across with clients in implementation so much. Why is that happening? Why am I getting this result? There's just no idea, right? We want you to go from I have no idea why this could be happening all the way over quite comfortably to I know that this isn't working, and I've got a pretty good guess why this isn't working. So now I can do this and take this action, right? That is moving from confusion and the frustration and the overwhelm into this place of confidence, of clarity, and most important, of consistent momentum. That is solving every single mystery, piece by piece by piece by piece, because they're not inscrutable mysteries. No one's business is a Jack the Ripper setup where we will never figure out what happened. Who was it? Who who could it possibly have been who did these horrific things? Ultimately, there may be some unsolved mysteries in the world. Your business does not have to be one of them. Your business can be full of resolution and things resolved and momentum and growth and assets and growth and scale. That's the most exciting thing. And what we're always going to keep coming back to here inside this podcast, inside this story of solving the major mysteries of marketing. They'll pop up, but we can solve them and move right on. So I'm so glad that you joined me today talking about what is near and dear to my heart, the mysteries and these spy kind of intrigues throughout the world. There's intrigue in your business. Let's just start looking at it with curiosity continually and providing you the solutions. So if you found this helpful, if you want to start solving some of your own mysteries, click follow, click subscribe wherever you're catching this. If you want to really start tapping in and implementing solving more mysteries for yourself, by all means, click the links below, go in and let us give you the 7 marketing must-haves and the 3-step system to solve the major mysteries of advertising, which is so full of mysteries to people and really scary because it has so much risk or money attached to it. We're going to start removing almost all that risk completely so that it feels really good. But solve the 7 marketing must-haves, solve the 3 steps to great advertising. Subscribe, follow. If you want to just come check us out, come over to goldenringmarketing.com. Again, that's goldenringmarketing.com. And you can also find me, if you click over there and click through, you can find me on Instagram and you can find me on LinkedIn and of course on Facebook. And I look forward to seeing you next time, where we will dive into yet one more mystery and solve that for you for good. I'll see you next time.